Hi, I'm the cereal you've had for the past 3 weeks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And welcome to Crash Course Art History. Today we'll be discussing early 20th century artwork. When I think of this era, typically I think of right corners, slanted angles, and very cold, unemotional architecture. This vision is much colder compared to the two artists we will be looking at today. In reaction to the contemporary work that was beginning, artists took the inspirations of the post-impressionist movement to lean more towards a warm, emotional, and childish approach. Henri Matisse, The Woman in the Hat, and The Joy of Life shows the shift of Matisse's work towards spiritualism from Cézanne to a more abstract approach. The Woman in the Hat shows multiple planes of the face using almost random-like colors, which creates a beautiful mosaic of vibrant, pure hues. Despite the mosaic's appearance, the image is able to create an illusion of space with overlapping of objects and the contrast of the blues and the reds, such as the arm that is in front of the body or the brim of the hat. However, once you look at The Joy of Life, the outlined and contained figures no longer have the illusion of space. The illusion of space is disrupted by the two nudes in the middle, who appear exceptionally large if continuing with the illusion of space with the rest of the figures. The rest of the figures seem to rationally progress backward in their curvilinear bodies. This dreamlike world that is based on the archaic Greek lifestyle is filled with reclining nudes, a flute player, and an embracing couple. Due to its intense color, the image is typically labeled as a Faust, but the spirituality of the scene is undeniable. The dreamscape illustrated by Matisse is a wonderful abstraction of a forest with minimal lines and shapes. The colors used are unnatural, yet in Matisse's hands appear to match the abstracted emotion of the image. I actually got to view this piece in the Barnes Foundation in Philadelphia. It is filled with Matisse paintings as well as Picasso and Cézanne pieces, and would totally recommend that you come and visit if you ever come to Philadelphia. Another example of an early 20th century artist that is more focused on the abstraction of spirituality, but is inspired by the childish or primitive artifacts rather than post-impressionist, is an artist I studied in high school, Paul Klee. I made this piece based off of Paul Klee attempting to mimic his use of squares and geometric shapes to create a beach scene based off of the scene, to create a beach landscape based on a scene from the Oscar award-winning movie Moonlight. But like the Avatar: The Last Airbender live-action movie, the original is certainly much better. Paul Klee's The Nissen is a beautiful mix of childish influence and spiritual poetic introspection. Klee was heavily influenced by his trip to Tunisia in North Africa. At this time, the increase in collecting artifacts from Africa was becoming more and more popular. What struck Klee the most was the insane amount of color he viewed on his trip. This would greatly impact his upcoming work, including the Nissen. The Nissen has a bold geometric mountain that shadows over the cube-like trees. The trees are simplified to the maximum. Klee takes anything and everything our mind would inherently register as a tree and strips it to the bare minimum required. The colors are luminescent and saturated, grabbing our attention to them, similarly to how Klee was influenced by color in Tunisia. The Star of David and the Islamic moon reach our eye towards the top of the mountain, making us think further about the unspeakable beauty that is this landscape. The outreaching tree branches that surround the image are a symbol of life surrounding the mountain. Klee is able to make a childlike artwork intricate and introspectively poetic. Both Klee and Matisse are able to apply alternative expressions during a time of rather cold artwork to a more emotional and lively artwork. Both of the unnatural yet intense uses of color grab the eye to think further about the spirituality and life within these pieces. Klee's application of childlike artwork contrasts from the abstracted, intricate line work of Matisse, but both create a simplified abstraction that contrasts from the modernness of contemporary artwork that was occurring during the time. Thank you so much for watching Crash Course Art History. 5. Paul Klee. I forgot to edit the piece. Can you pause it? I'll be right back.
You just pee?
No, that's in the piece.
Oh. Quiet on set. Ah! That's what you're supposed to do. Right?
Klee was heavily inspired by his trip to Tanzania in North Africa.
It's Tunisia.
Is it really?
It's not Tanzania.
Is it really?
Mom! Is it Tanzania or Tunisia? Mom says it's Tunisia. Sorry, Chloe. You were on a roll, too.
I'm so dumb.
What?
I'm so dumb.
You're not dumb.
I didn't even look it up. I was so confident in myself. I was like, yeah, I can pronounce this.
Ah!
Paul Klee's Indonesian is a perfect mix of childish and...
Mishka.
Honey, we're filming.
She could not be an acting dog. I'm gonna
No, we're filming.
quiet on set.
Wrong way.
I crystallized. She looks like a flaming chicken nugget, girl.
Oh, so many things are happening.
You have the floor, sir.
Prince.
In return, we
We're done
didn't
now.
ask for lamb.